My name is Nicole Wilks. I'm the founder of the Animal Food Bank Foundation here in BC, and we currently operate in Winnipeg, Manitoba, and just launched in Calgary, Alberta, with aspirations to go national. We launched in Kelowna. Our original branch was December of 2019. I was in downtown Kelowna in December of, I guess it was late November of 2019. And I ran into a homeless gentleman with his dog. And I always joke that I'm sure the gentleman has a name too, but I never ask people's names. I just ask the dog's name. And the dog's name is Odin, and he was a black lab cross, I think. Beautiful dog. We had a very casual conversation for a few moments while I asked if I could pet him. And I went home that night and couldn't sleep, wondering how it was that he fed the pet with no judgment. My judgment wasn't, how dare you have a pet? It was, oh my goodness, how does this pet get fed? And so laid in bed and did a bunch of Googling and found that there wasn't an organization specifically aimed at feeding the pets of the homeless. Is essentially how it started. There's one in the US, but there wasn't one in Canada. And I thought, well, we need to do something. And that's pretty much how it started. We talked about it on a Tuesday and launched on a Thursday. And that was it. When we launched in December, without any idea what we were doing, we popped our website up in 3 days, and we didn't even have an intake form of any kind. It was just like, well, I don't know, we'll just get it out there. We went through 2,000 pounds in Kelowna alone in less than 2 weeks. But it was an anomaly because in January, the demand died right back down. And not having a full cycle of experience with a food bank, I was like, I don't know what's going on, what's happening. And we just kind of went with it and watched. And so in January, we went through about 100 to 150 pounds of food a week. It seemed to be kind of our average. And with that information, we thought, well, let's launch in Winnipeg, where I'm from. In doing my research of pet food banks, there wasn't one in Winnipeg. There are tons of rescues in Winnipeg. And I was like, how is there not a pet food bank? And so we went back and launched there in February. And we saw about double the demand there when we launched in February. And again, this is all before COVID. And so we thought, okay, great, this is manageable, we can do that. And then COVID hit in early March, just as we were planning to go and launch Calgary, where my husband is from. And so COVID hit, and our demand went from 100 to 150 pounds here a week to 1,300 pounds the first week that COVID was a thing. In Winnipeg, we went from about 10 to 20 requests a week to 20 to 80 a day. And the demand was, I think our drivers dropped off 1,500 pounds of food one weekend to 80 families. It was incredible. As the benefits started rolling out from the government, we saw the demand die down. And we've settled in both areas, both in Kelowna, Okanagan area, and in Winnipeg, somewhere between an average of 500 to 700 pounds a week, which is still more than we were doing before COVID, but that's a manageable amount with our current volunteer base and drivers. And so that's where we're at. We were almost out of food in Winnipeg, and this was like prime COVID supply of food. And they jumped quickly, had 9 pallets, so I guess about 9,000 pounds of food for us, and sent that over, and it was amazing. So the driver came from Calgary to Winnipeg. We didn't have storage yet, so one of our volunteers opened up their garage and we had it delivered to the garage. And it's been a lifesaver because we were able to continue providing food to people who needed it. And then came Calgary, and really Calgary's launch was put on hold because of COVID, and then escalated because Smuckers and the Ontario SPCA had a donation for us. We're lucky enough to find a wonderful partner in Container King, who not only donated 1 container, but 2, so we could get 20,000 pounds of food delivered yesterday, I think it was. And we have 20,000 pounds of food sitting in Calgary because of you guys. So Calgary wouldn't have launched without you. As a result, to date, it's 30,000 pounds. Like, it's incredible. COVID is an interesting time in trying to get donations. And so all the things that we would have normally depended on for our donation drives, weekends where we set up at a pet store and promote what we're doing, all of those things disappeared. And so without your help and Smucker's help and the Ontario SPCA, we wouldn't have had the donation to launch.